I'm tired of living a life where I'm being punished for a crime that I haven't even committed. Everywhere I go, there are laws dictating where I can and cannot live. I'm told that I cannot live within 1,000 feet of a pool, playground, school, or daycare, or places where children congregate. They created these laws because someone somewhere abducted a child from one of these places and probably did horrific things to that child. It scared the public, and rightfully so. However, while we were reacting to these events, worried about protecting our children, we forgot what it meant to be fair. Not every crime is a sex offense, and not every sex offender is a child molester. I am subject to these laws, and if I don't comply with any one statute of my Level 1 registry, I could be looking at a very severe prison sentence. Yet, I have never even so much as touched a child. I don't think sexual offenders should be prohibited from living in homes within X amount of distance from Y. The very nature of that statute, in my mind, violates my human right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, with the emphasis on life. How can I build a new life after my sentence if the government is telling me where I can and cannot live? I am lucky to be living in a state where the people who are categorized as a level 1 sex offender are not plastered all over the internet for everyone to see. Level 1 sex offenders are just that, level 1, lowest risk to the community and of least concern. So there's no need to plaster his or her identity everywhere. The police know where he or she resides and works, and really, they're the only ones who need to know. If a child goes missing in my neighborhood, I am fine with the cops stopping by my house and asking questions. If I didn't abduct the child, I should have nothing to worry about. However, if I'm in a state where my face is all over the internet and that child goes missing in my neighborhood, well, it won't be the cops at my front door. It'll be the neighbors. In their eyes, I am guilty of abducting that child just because I already have my face on the internet. And there's no telling what their actions against me will be. Urinating in public, public indecency, the college naked mile run runners, the 15-year-old who sent pictures of herself to another 15-year-old. The list goes on and on. These are all stupid reasons to be placed on a sex offender registry. Not one of these examples would be categorized as sex offenders by any average citizen. However, our justice system seems to include any act that could be in any way misconstrued as sexually offensive to anyone and punishes those offenders for life via the sex offender registry. How can anyone argue that to be fair? Myself and the crime for which I was convicted does not fall into this category. However, I do see the need to stand up for the rights of these people. As I see it, they did nothing wrong. A misdemeanor at best, these crimes should be punished by a small fine or community service at most, not sentenced to life on a registry that was designed off a knee-jerk reaction to an incident. The sex offender registry is one of those things that was brought about with good intentions. However, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry, and the sex offender registry is no different. In the process of creating legislation that was simply meant to keep track of sex offenders, rapists, child molesters, pedophiles, etc., we've designed a trap in which any one of us could be caught up in. All it takes is one drunken night peeing in public, or your 16-year-old daughter sending special photographs of herself to 17 or 18-year-old boyfriend, or in some places a snide remark that could be considered sexual harassment. As a person registered as a sex offender, I say this: we need to find a way to protect our children. I agree that steps need to be taken towards finding a solution on how to deal with convicted sex offenders. But we can't just keep throwing everyone convicted of a sex crime into the same pot. Some people need to be monitored. Some people need to have their face on the internet so others can see who is in their neighborhood. Some people need only verify with law enforcement and nobody else. And some need not register at all. To consider ourselves a fair and responsible society, we must first look at ways to match the punishment with the crime. not classify every convicted sex offender as a dangerous pervert and call it a day. Furthermore, we need to standardize whatever solution we come up with. State to state, the sex offender registry is extremely inconsistent, making it difficult for those who are registered to know whether they are in compliance or not, and making law enforcement officers' jobs more difficult due to the ever-changing legislation. To consider ourselves a fair and responsible society, we must reevaluate who we consider dangerous and how we protect ourselves from them.